I'm pleased to announce this morning that the Department of Education will soon issue new guidance protecting the right to prayer in our public schools, and it's total protection. See what you did, Hannah? Who knew? Who knew that was going to happen, right? Thank you, darling. Also with us is 12-year-old Shay Encinas from California. Last year in 5th grade, Shay was forced to read a book to a kindergarten student promoting a message of radical gender ideology that is contrary to his religious beliefs and ours. I'd like to have Shay come up and tell the story. It's an amazing story. Shay, please come up.
I'm Shay Encinas. I've been a Christian my whole life, and Jesus means everything to me. When I was in 5th grade, my school forced me to teach my kindergarten buddy about changing his gender using a book called My Shadow is Pink. The book said you can choose your gender based on feelings instead of how God made us. And this was treated us badly, and kids started bullying me and my brother because of our faith. And the school did nothing to stop it. It hurt a lot, but I kept trusting God. I believe kids like me should be able to live our faith at school without being forced to go against what we believe. I hope no other family has to go through what mine did. Thank you.
On day one of my administration, I signed an executive order to slash federal funding for any school that pushes transgender insanity on our youth. We also banned the chemical and surgical mutilation of our children. Thank you. We got men out of women's sports. How tough was that? How cool. But could you imagine, seriously, I'm just thinking to myself, transgender for everybody, men playing in women's sports, all of the different things we talk about, it's insane. And if you were here 15, 20 years ago, and if somebody made a speech about transgender for everyone, I always say transgender because for everyone. Transgender, we have some states that actually can force it upon you without the parents' notification or approval. It's not even believable. But can you imagine men playing in women's sports? So you're up 15 years ago, I guess. It happened. And not only that, the Democrats don't want to give it up. I watched a congressman fighting like crazy this weekend for men having the right to play in women's sports. And they don't understand, but I don't want to really fight them on that. I tell all the Republicans, let them go, let them go. Just bring it up about a week before the election, because you don't want to talk about it, but they say it's an 80-20 issue. I say, Dan, it's a 97-3 issue, okay? And transgender's about the same. It's crazy. It's sort of a crazy thing. It's a world gone wrong, just a world gone wrong. The policy of the United States government that there are only 2 genders. You're going to hate this. Male and female. You're going to hate it. That's in their hearts. You know, I'll tell you, I was in a boardroom early on. Paula was there. A couple of people in the room were there, but we had about 50 pastors, some rabbis. We had people from a few different religions, and I was just running. I'd never done it before, so it was very early in the campaign. It was in early 2016, and Trump Tower was 68 stories up in the air, a beautiful boardroom, and place is loaded up with these people, and they were all excited. And then at the end, I said, I'd love to have your support. And the room went dead silent. Do you remember? It's like, I said, what happened? I know you like me. What happened? Well, would like to talk to you about it later. Anyway, I said, all right, but if we could leave and we'll have another meeting maybe, but I would love to have your support. And there was, again, no answer. And I said, well, we'll figure this out. And I went to Paula and some of the others after. And I said, could I ask you, I know when I'm doing well, when I'm doing poorly, and I was doing really well. And then when I asked for support, it was like stone cold silence. They said, we have something called the Johnson Amendment, that if a pastor, minister, rabbi, or imam, or anybody says anything about politics, you can lose your tax-exempt status. I said, you got to be kidding. So that's what happened. And they were petrified of it. Remember that? Nobody even wanted to talk about it. They were absolutely, they became a different group of people. And I pledged to them at the next meeting, we had another meeting a couple of weeks later with a similar group of people. I pledged to them that if I win, we're going to get rid of the Johnson Amendment. This was Lyndon Johnson, who had a tremendous fight with a minister from, I believe it was Houston or Dallas, and they didn't like each other. And Lyndon Johnson was a very powerful president. He had good power, good strength. He ended up being very weakened by the position. And that was amazing when I heard that. I never heard of that before. And I said, we're going to get rid of it. And we got rid of it. You have got, because you're the people we want to hear from. We want to hear from you. I don't want to hear from a lot of people. I hear from too many people. You're the people we respect. Franklin is incredible. And they come from a different place than me. I come from a business place where there's a lot of rough people, bad people, not really religious people. There are some. But you're the people that I want to hear from. That's why we go to church on Sundays, or we go to wherever we are to listen to people of faith. And yet you have less power. And I pointed down to Fifth Avenue, which was 68 stories below. And I said, that means that anybody on Fifth Avenue, in theory, has more power than you do. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be the opposite. We have to give your voices back. And I've given your voices back. And that's one of the reasons that we see upticks now, I think, in religion. So it's very important. Remember that moment when I said, I'd love to have your support, ladies and gentlemen? And it was like dead silence. I said, there's something going on. And we figured it out. We did something about it. So thank you. Thank you very much to Paula White, too. But upon taking office, I also ended the weaponization of law enforcement against religious believers and pardoned the pro-life activists thrown in jail by Joe Biden for saying prayer. Been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.